Hello, fight fans, and welcome back to another video. On today's menu, we have a juicy matchup between Errol "The Truth" Spence Jr. and Terence "Bud" Crawford. Negotiations are currently underway, and hopefully our prayers will be answered, and we can all witness the tipped-to-be fight of the century. Sit back, relax, and enjoy as we break down what would happen in the squared circle between these two, and we'll see who the top dog of the welterweight division is. Errol "The Truth" Spence Jr. Errol Spence Jr., or The Truth, is an American professional boxer. He was born in Long Island, New York, US on March 3, 1990. Spence Jr. made his professional boxing debut at the age of 22 against Jonathan Garcia on November 9, 2012. 9 years and 5 months into his professional boxing career, Errol Spence Jr. has fought 28 times with 28 wins and no losses. As of October 2022, Spence Jr.'s boxing record is an undefeated 28-0 with 22 KOs. In total, he has fought 142 rounds of professional boxing in 28 bouts. Errol stands at 5 foot 9 inches tall, with a reach of 72 inches, with bone-crushing power. The southpaw, who is number 1 in the division, as he is currently a unified champion, holding the IBF, WBC, and WBA belts. Spence Jr.'s notable victories include wins over Kell Brook, Carlos Ocampo, Danny Garcia, Lamont Peterson, Mikey Garcia, Sean Porter, and Leonard Bundu. He had his first world title fight at the age of 27 on May 27, 2017, after 21 professional fights against Kell Brook for the welterweight IBF title. Spence Jr. defeated Brook via 11th round KO to become the new welterweight champion of the world. He beat the Englishman Kell Brook into submission as Spence broke his orbital bone, causing Kell Brook to consider retirement. Errol proved this to be no fluke, as in a title defense against the Cuban Jordanis Ugas, he had done the exact same thing, stopping him in the 10th and also breaking his orbital bone on April 16, 2022, which is his most recent fight to date. Spence Jr. has knocked out 22 of his 28 opponents so far, giving him a KO ratio that currently stands at 78.6%. What a devastating fighter he is! Fighting style. Spence, a two-fisted southpaw, is known for his methodical, grind-him-down approach in the ring. He works behind a sharp jab, breaks his opponents down by targeting the body, and maintains a high defensive guard. His hooks, uppercuts, and body work in general are widely considered to be the best in the world. Overall, you can argue Spence is the perfect punch boxer combined with elements of a swarmer. Strengths. Pressure. Errol's work rate is second to none, as he throws the most punches in the whole welterweight division. This is one of the traits he'll need to display in the Crawford fight, and he can't give time for Crawford to get into his rhythm and work, or else it could be a long night for Errol. Body work. His body work will be key on slowing down the crafty Crawford. Crawford can very quickly off the mark and quick on his feet, so closing the distance and going to the body for Errol will be essential in the bout. Weaknesses. Adaptation. Spence usually gets his way with his opponents, so he fights whatever style is comfortable to him. Some may say he can only fight one way, which will be a massive weakness against Crawford, as he shows a variety of skills to get the job done. Terence "Bud" Crawford. Terence "Bud" Crawford is also an American professional boxer who was born in Omaha, Nebraska, US on September 28, 1987. Crawford made his professional boxing debut at the age of 20 against Brian Cummings on March 14, 2008. He is a 3-weight class world champion and future Hall of Famer, just like his foe Errol. The 35-year-old, who holds the welterweight WBO title, has fought 38 times with 38 wins and no losses. As of October 2022, Crawford's boxing record stands at 38-0 with 29 knockouts. In total, he has fought 218 rounds of professional boxing in 38 bouts. making him an undefeated pound-for-pound list fighter. Terence Crawford is 5 foot 8 inches, with a reach of 74 inches. He is a switch hitter. He can fight out of both the orthodox and the southpaw stances, as well as each other. He is the best in the sport at switching. Wow! Crawford has a 76.3% KO rate, knocking out 29 of his 38 opponents. But will it prove deadly enough against Errol the Truth Spence Jr.? We'll have to wait and see. His most glorious victories include wins over Julius Indongo, Kell Brook, Jeff Horn, Ricky Burns, Amir Khan, Yuriorkis Gamboa, and John Molina Jr. His most recent fight was a welterweight title defense bout against fellow American boxer Shawn Porter on November 20th, 2021. Crawford won the fight in a 10th round TKO and defended his WBO title. He's done something who no one else in the 147 division could do, and that was stop Shawn Porter. Shawn is a tough test and has fought everyone, including Errol, who was able to beat him up but not stop him. Fight style. Bud is arguably one of the most complete boxers in the world today, and is in the top 3 in many people's pound-for-pound lists. His unique style of being able to switch and fight from both stances with ease, naturally, is something you don't see often, and makes him a true puzzle for any opponent that faces him. He is a pure boxer with elite footwork, one-punch knockout power, and brilliant ring IQ. Strengths. Speed and footwork. Crawford is definitely the quicker fighter out of the two with the superior footwork. He will need this to stay away from the big blows coming from Spence and to get away from the grueling bodywork he presents. Switch hitter. As stated before, Bud is the best switch hitter in the game. He will need to use this to his advantage when trying to get into rhythm, and it'll keep Spence's brain thinking, not letting him settle. Ring IQ. Terence has one of the best boxing minds in the game today. He has shown the ability to adapt when the fight is going close. For example, when he was told in his corner he was down on the scorecards in the Porter fight. He will need to use the whole ring against Spence, making him more mobile than usual. Weaknesses. Fighting in the pocket. Where this isn't a weakness when fighting most fighters in his division, Terence could come unstuck if he decides to stay in front of Spence and bang. Most will say that is playing into Spence's game plan, but will Bud want to go out and try and prove a point? Predictions. This is the biggest fight you can make in boxing today, as you have 2 of the top 5 guys in the sport go at it for all the marbles in the 147 division. Doesn't get any better than that, does it? Let's chime in and see what the boxing world thinks would happen in this amazing clash. The Golden Boy head honcho, Oscar De La Hoya, was ringside to watch his star man Virgil Ortiz Jr. extend his unbeaten run, and he, like many others across the globe, can't wait to see it. As he explained in an interview on Fight Hype, he said, quote, "Crawford has more weapons that he can use against Spence, who is sometimes a little too mechanical, but it's going to be a very interesting fight." He then went on to say, "Spence is a very dangerous puncher, and he's my favorite to win. But the fight, if it gets made, is one that is going to excite fans because both guys are the very best at 147 pounds. In contrast to Oscar De La Hoya, when asked who he believes will win, the former heavyweight champion of the world and boxing icon, Iron Mike Tyson, told ES News, Crawford. The reason why I say Crawford is when you look at the guys, they both fought, like Shawn Porter. Look at what he, Spence, did to Porter, and look at what he, Crawford, did to Porter. From these predictions, we can tell it's going to be a tough one. Most people are torn between the two, but one thing we can say for sure is that this is a 50-50 fight. Well, folks, we've reached the end of the video. I know, what a blast it was! As always, don't forget to hit the like button. Leave a comment on your thoughts and who you will think will win this generational fight. And subscribe for more videos just like this one. Until next time.